the other day, in terms of critical thinking, I actually called out a particular crypto project that was launching. And it was very suspect. Why? Because it had manufactured marketing. So there was all this different marketing. Now, keep in mind, a press release delivered through an actual real press release like Newswire cannot be, it can't actually have advertising language. It can't hype. It can't make those kinds of statements, right? The most highly anticipated unicorn crypto token to be released already at 4,000%, expected to hit 100,000% return. Like, you can't say that stuff in a press release, right? So when I see press releases that are very, very hypey, and then they're everywhere, but no mainstream media, and you can't actually track the token price on the blockchain. So they're doing the pre-sale and they're saying 4,000%, and but they're actually setting the pre-sale price, so they made it 4,000%. Like, these are the critical thinking skills you've got to look at and you've got to dig. And why are all of these people seemingly saying the exact same thing in lockstep? Well, it's because it was derived all from a single press release, right? So when you look at manufactured media, when you looked at manufactured hype, when you look at manufactured support, right? So it's now listed on CoinSniper. Why? Because it got the 500 people to back it and say, I'm watching this. It's on the watch list, right? Well, that all of these things can be manufactured. Is it real? Is it real? Is there any there? Who's behind it? Who's responsible for it? Who can be sued if something happens? Is there a company? Like, all these different questions that people need to ask before they do any kind of investing in blockchain, or, well, cryptocurrency. Blockchain is different. Blockchain is the tool, the unfuckwithable ledger of what actually happened. Wouldn't we like to have had an unfuckwithable ledger of what actually happened when it came to the actual ingredients in all of those vaccines? Because if you look at the VAERS data, you had this massive spike and then you have a drop. Now, the question is, did they change the formula or did they just restrict the reporting? I'm not exactly sure what happened right here, but we were like, ooh, and then all of a sudden it went, and I'm like, oh, they got something right. That's just a question. I have lots of questions, right? I make no statements. I have lots and lots of questions for which I'm usually silenced. I'm not allowed to ask questions, especially critical thinking questions like, who approved this? Who approved that? Did they read this before they said yes? Those kinds of things. Just wanting to know the facts, because you actually can't make informed consent until you have all the facts. And if you're prevented from having all the facts, that's propaganda. So I would like a world in which we don't have propaganda.